Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. I thought today that we would try I don't know what that glitch was, but that was weird. I thought that today we would try making some snowflakes out of pipe cleaners. This is something that has been popping up on my Facebook feed and I have desperately been wanting to give it a try. So let's play. I picked up some pipe cleaners over at Hobby Lobby. I also picked up some beads and some stars and some stickers, and I don't use them all, but we'll at least get a fun idea of what we're doing and have a good time. So I'm pulling out a couple of different colors. I'm trying some patterns that I saw on Facebook and watching the video at the same time that I'm trying to put these together. And so it's not as easy as it looks. You definitely need to have these, either a really good pair of scissors that you're not afraid of hurting, or these, oh my gosh, what do you call them? Anyways, wire cutters. Oh, wow, guys, I'm having a day. I had to work yesterday, which I normally don't, and I don't work tomorrow, which I usually do. And so my days are completely off, and it's just got my brain all fuzzy. it's confused and doesn't know what day it is today. So I'm making what look like little light bulbs. They will be I guess, what's a term for a snowflake edge? Well, we'll just call them petals because they kind of look like flower petals. So we're making these little flower petals, and then out of this wire, well, I'll work on that in a minute. Right now I'm just cutting it in half. And then we'll cut into this one as well. Now we're going to take these last two and we're going to just make a circle, and this will be the base that we're going to glue our little light bulbs, our little snowflake petals on. And I'm using a hot glue gun for this, mostly because it dries fast. These really can be for, a fun activity if you've got older kids or older grandkids. I'm not talking teenagers, I'm talking, well, and teenagers could have fun doing this too if they like to do crafty things. But I'm thinking like 8 to 10, 8 to 12 years old, they might have a really good time putting these together and having help with the hot glue, because hot glue does burn. It does not feel good when it hits that skin. So this is going to be the base that we're going to glue everything onto. And I wish now that, looking back on this first one, that I had done more than just the 4 petals. It really did need something, at least five or six. It could have used more. I guess 6 would have made it so that I couldn't do what you're about to see me do with the white ones, but it would have been nice. So I decided to cut these in half as well. And then most of what I saw people doing on Facebook, they would just curl them in. I have this tendency where I don't like it when things curl in just one way. And so I take it and I bend it so that it looks like it's just a little, like it's a sucker, a little lollipop for those that may not be in America. So I'm doing that, and then I'm going to glue them in between the spaces. Am I going to glue them in between the spaces? I guess we'll find out. It's either in between the inside of the little petals, or it's going to be in between them. And if it's, let's see what I do. Hang on. Okay, so I put them inside the petals. And that's why I wished I had done more than just, sorry, I say a lot. Somebody said something about that on a different YouTuber's thing, and now I'm super hyper aware of how much I say so I apologize for that. But I wish that I had put them in between the petals so that it gave more of a filled in look, or at least had done something in between there as well. And I do think about that after I have put this other, oh, I kept slipping out of my fingers, this other base on. You'll kind of see me go, point out, yeah, I could have done something in between there. So I did this one at normal speed so that you could kind of see basically how long that took and everything, but we're going to speed it up now. So in this one, in all of them, we end up cutting them in half. Otherwise you wind up, I mean, if you want a really big one, you could certainly make a really big one. I kind of felt like this had a lot of petals to it, but once I started folding them into each other, I kind of wish that I had taken at least one of those out. But I didn't, and that's okay. It does make it look a little more full. And so now on this one, we're going to roll in the ends and then turn it around and roll in the other side. And it just makes it look just so pretty. It's just makes it look a little more delicate, a little more lacy. And then to this, I am going to add a star in the middle, which I really liked. So that gives you an idea of what it looks like. Now we're going to pick up some fancy red. Oh, and I should say that that first one that we did gave me an idea for one that I came up with on my own, but we'll wait until the very last to do that one. So now here we're going to use a marker to give us a little bit of a circle at the tip, and then we're just going to twist the ends together and pull those out. And I end up making 7 of them. At first there's only 6. I probably could have skipped a whole bunch of this, sorry. But it really does go by fast enough. Okay, now I'm going to take next to the last one, cut it in half and make a base. But then once it comes time to put the petals on the base, I realize that that's way too small. Just way too small. So I'm going to make a 7th one just to fill it in. And then that's when I start to think I'm going to glue it and think, no, those are way too small. But I do utilize those in I don't know if it's the next one or the one after. So I make a bigger base, and that's able to hold them all. And I really like this one, especially with the glitter. You get the lights hitting on it, and it just looks so pretty. Just testing out to make sure that the size is going to fit in there. And then we put roll up the other base, and then we put the other base on. I guess call it the middle. It doesn't need to be a base. I don't know. I'm just having fun. All right. So I have a little sticker there. It's some candy canes. And it didn't want to stick on its own, so I had to glue it down. But oh, I love that one. That one turned out so pretty. Lots of glue everywhere. But that's how you know you're having fun, is when the glue ends up everywhere. Okay, so now we're going to try utilizing beads. We're going to put beads in it. First we're just going to wind it up and then cut that off and then spread the individual pipe cleaners out. And we're going to do the same thing where we twist 2 of them together I had to trim that one down. It was a little bit long. And then we're going to open up our beads, and I'm going to be putting green on one side and red on the other. So right now I'm doing the green, and then I'm just rolling up the ends to keep it from falling off. And then we turn it around and we get the red ones done, and it just makes it so pretty. It just adds this little glint and glimmer to it. You can see I slowed it down so that you could see it better. And you don't really need to add a base to this one, which is nice. And so it just makes it look really delicate and beautiful. And so I really, really liked that one. Now this is the one where we are going to take those two little middles, and we're going to add them in. And so first I've got to try to get everything as close to even as possible. Spread them out, and then we're going to do the same thing. Oh, I did pull one out because I thought, oh, that's a little bit too much. Now I'm taking every other stem, and I'm folding it in on itself and rolling it in, and then I am doing my thing where I first of all I add the beads, and then I bend the wire a little bit so it looks more like a sucker and less like a curl. So we just add in that one, and oh, I love this one. And that's when I thought, hey, wait a minute, I've got these reds here that would just really bring it out and just pop in color. And so I pull those in and glue them on, and oh, I just love how this one turned out. So fun, so pretty. And like I said, this would make such a fun craft, or like an activity night to do with your family or with your grandkids. Now this is going to be the pièce de résistance. I have come up with my own idea based off of what the first one. It's going to be the most complicated one I do, but even then it's totally doable. So I decide to add beads. I add, let's see, I think it's green and silver on one, and then gold and red on another. And yes, I do realize I ended up doing Slytherin house and Gryffindor house, and that was not intentional, but oh my goodness, do I love it, because I just love Harry Potter. Okay, so we're going to finish out these petals and make them nice and big, and I do 6 of them this time, so it will fill it out and be nice and big. So one more of the green or the red and gold. Clean up my beads, and then we're going to make the base in the middle. I want to make it nice and big because these are some big petals to fill in there, and I have an idea of how I want to fill them in. But first I need to glue these down. Get another glue stick. I know how to talk well. I'm good at the English. We're just going to go every other one. And going with 6 was definitely the way to go because it does fill it in just perfectly. Okay, now I'm going to pull out some white pipe cleaners, and we're going to cut these down into very, very small sizes. Now when I first put the first little gold bead on, I twist it, but I didn't really like the way that looked. And so when I pull out the second one, I decide to try gluing it on there instead. And by doing that, it looks like it's a little flame at the end of a candle. And that's the look that I was going for. I thought in every single one of those little petals, I could put a little candle. So that's what you're going to see me do here. Well, I have one more video to come out before Christmas time. I sure hope that those of you that celebrate Christmas have an amazing time. If you're celebrating Hanukkah or Kwanzaa or whatever you decide to celebrate, just I hope it's an amazing, amazing time. I love this time of year. It's one of my favorites. I do know that it's not easy for everyone, but you can find joy no matter your circumstances. I know that I have found that to be true in my 50 years of life. So we're just going to put the last base on, and then I'm going to add a star because if you're going to go big, well, go big or go home, and I like to be home, but I also like to go big, so I'm going with a star. Well, everyone, make it a great day, make it a great week, and I will see you next week for our last video of the year. So take care, everyone. Goodbye.